greetings to the Gambian people and greetings to the African people in general. Today marks another brand new edition of The Conversation that comes away on Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV here in the Republic of the Gambia. And I remain Tony Mikel Howard, tasked with the responsibility of inspiring and motivating the current generation of young Africans in the actualization of their respective dreams and preaching the message of peace and national unity, as well as revitalizing the Africanization policy that speaks about good governance, social justice, democracy, human rights, and most importantly, the African unity. And for today's conversation, we are honored and privileged to be in the residence of two greats, or should I say, the best vegans of the world, in Mama Naasira and Dr. Gregory Joe Bledsoe. Welcome to the platform today, Sarah and Mother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are honored and privileged to be here today with Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV in their residence.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah,
as well.
quickly. For those following us all the way from East Africa, we say Jumbo dabari yako kumfutanya yo zangu na kupenda pia we say heshima kwa East Africa, respect to East Africa. We say asante kwa masada when you quit to see that. Thanks for supporting us. Those from the French-speaking background will say merci dans les avoirs si porté. Of course, to the Sierra Leone people, to the men, they will say kawina kaigoma too. The Kono-speaking people in the Kono district, Sierra Leone will say to you wente to the Aku-speaking people will say unakushio. Back to the federal part of Nigeria, to Yoruba speaking regions about Nisha Ututo Jumenta Baolombo, to eastern part of the country will say one name the number Mechuku Abiyama, Amama Masi, Oshimidia Tata, Ikueme, Chuku Kike, strengthening each of you wherever you are at this global saga, the coronavirus, to the northern part of the country that is predominantly Islamic. We say to you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Back to the Gambian people here, we say, Abenya de Sokono Koloko Benya de Famo Keta, that's for the Mantinkas. To the Fula, we say, Hirejan, Masude Nalaga, Jamtown on the other hand, to the Walla was in Nangadef. Naka Guribi, Naka Yarambi, we say Jerejef, Domalamuna Fati, Domalamusa Fati Adonabi. This is the conversation. Drive us quickly through your educational profile. Let the audience from different backgrounds get to know
Okay.
what did you studied and where do you come from, your life, and so to speak.
Okay, I am a Hastings Law School graduate. I am an educator for 30 years in the United States. I have been a vegan for over 45 years, a vegetarian for about 40. And my information has come from extensive research from people like Dr. Sadie, Dr. Ilela Africa, a number of others who have put forth information about health and nutrition. And as a result, we were able to compile our books, which we'll talk about a little later, that are the number 1 and 2 bestsellers in health and nutrition. Naasira?
Yes, hi. I'm Mama Naasira. I am originally from America, San Francisco, California. I'm born and raised. Was raised in a family of the oldest of 6 children. And so what I do is prepare vegan food today. As a child, I grew up cooking and preparing the food that was more conventional of that particular time. And going on from my home brought up, my mother didn't have to work, so my father was a carpenter. And I was fortunate to eat pretty well, although I had health issues with allergies, and I learned that because of my blood type, type A positive, I learned in my 50s that I was born to be a vegan. So that's why when I left home to go to college, and was fortunate to have some nursing background, and I became a medical lab tech. At UC Medical Center, San Francisco, is where at the age of 18 is when I started. By the time I was 19, I was an excellent phlebotomist. I drew infants and pediatrics, and just one day I had an accident where I was contaminated by a needle stick, and I contracted hepatitis B. And that was mainly because I had left home, you know, the way my mother raised me and fed me. I was eating in those fast food restaurants, you know, McDonald's and all of that. But after I had the accident, I had liver condition of swelling and itching, and the doctors, especially in those days in 1974, and this was a European white American.
Years before I was born at all.
Yeah, but it was good because doctors had a closer relationship to us.
Okay.
And because they were more Southerners, but I wasn't from the South, but my mother and parents were.
Okay.
And grandparents and all of them. He just said, you're going to have to, he said, there's no cure for hepatitis B. He said, you're going to have to eat the way your mother raised you.
Okay.
So that's when I got busy
drawing your mind
learning,
back to your roots. Yeah.
going back to the roots.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to live in an area and work in an area, where there was health food stores.
Okay.
And a lot of the Europeans, I noticed, they had sprouted sandwiches and, not just with the meat, but they had lots of vegetables on it. So that sort of soothed my stomach.
Okay.
And fast forward, I'm now in the Gambia, and I've been here 3.5 years.
Okay.
And so we've written the books, and it's just a lot that I can talk about. So I'll just leave it there
That's
for right
beautiful.
now.
That's beautiful. That's the voice there of my guest, Mama Naasira and Dr. Bleach, here on the campus of Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV. For those following us right now on the Facebook page and social media, we'll look at Jamie K greeting you there all the way there from Coventry, United Kingdom, not forgetting was 9 Muslim Ananga from Zimbabwe, and Dudu Natasha there from South Africa. These people are following you right now. What should I say are the major differences between you and a Mikel Howard? When I say you and a Mikel Howard, a Mikel Howard who is not a vegan and you who are a vegan, what's the difference between you and I in lifestyle and food pattern and body, so to speak?
Okay, well, I'd like to start historically. 5,000 years ago, we did not eat any meat or animals. The animals were part of our family. Okay?
Yeah.
And we communicated with them. Although telepathically, through our feelings, through our emotions, it was communication. Fast forward, would an animal talk to you now if you eat their brother, their sister, and their mother?
They won't see it.
No, it doesn't happen. Since we've been here, I've had the experience where I've had like a herd of ants on the window.
Yeah.
I told my wife about it, and I said, they're talking to me, they're telling me it's okay, they'll be gone. And my wife, I heard a bunch of ruckus in the kitchen, and I looked, and she was getting every major something of mass destruction she could get her hand over. Then when I stood to block her way, my mom was nimble. She made a move around me like O.J. Simpson back in the old day, got past me, and when she got to the window, practically all the ants were gone. So as you begin to raise your vibration, which comes about by what you eat and by what you think, then you'll be able to open yourself up more to be who you really came here to be.
Do you have any element of contribution to what he says?
Yes. Well, since I had to change my lifestyle, it's been a progress where after 4 years of the healing myself, living by myself and away from the roommates, I married, not my husband, because he's my third husband.
Third time's a charm.
And married 18 years, raised 3 sons, and the one blessed thing was I knew how to prepare good food for them, and they didn't eat in the restaurants. So that means they grew up much healthier. Although we did have some meat, but I purchased a wok, those Chinese woks, and this was in San Francisco, and this was 43 years ago. Yeah, 42. Wow. He's 42 years old, my oldest son.
Wow.
So that year I bought it, and they had all the recipes. And I'm one of those ones that love to follow recipes. And so I just started creating different vegetables to add with the meat. And I use small portions of meat. And then from there, I just, everywhere I've gone, people know that I couldn't eat other people's food. And that's a blessing, because I think as being an American and black, we have to stop eating other people's food. I don't go anywhere. I was telling one of my colleagues when we were 21, she had broke out in a rash, and I was pretty much healed from my illness. And I said, if you cannot bring a lunch with you, I said, you just drink water until you get home. And in that way, you won't have to pick up any type of germs or any type of energy from someone else's food. And she was amazed. And today she actually assisted me with my book.
Okay. Wow, that's beautiful. You hear the very, very huge fountains of knowledge when it comes to the vegan lifestyle. Too many new information you're going to get here today. Get set. Get ready. It's fabulous right here on Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV. You can drop your comments, your view and analysis about how you feel about today's presentation with these wonderful souls here from the United States. Back in Africa, we want to know why Africa this time.
Well, in America, our people are dying. They're dying from the air that they breathe with the geoengineering, the water. A lot of our pipes, old pipes, they have lead in them. The water itself, they put in chlorine and all other kinds of things that our bodies really aren't made to consume.
Are those one of the factors of the escape back to Africa?
Oh, well, that may be.
With a deliberate attempt on the word escape.
Yeah, but we understand this.
Okay.
If Africa represents to us the genius of the world. You are the most dynamic people that we know of as a group.
Okay.
Your genius is outstanding.
Wow.
Mama and I just saw, look, all you need to do is have two things removed. Stop eating the poison and stop taking in the misinformation.
What do you refer to as poison?
Well, I refer to poison as anything that is acid to our body.
Okay.
See, we are supposed to have what we call alkaline, which is fruits, vegetables, grains, beans or legumes. And we are supposed to stay away from the things that are acid. And that would be the white things, because they have no nutritional value. A lot of them have been bleached to make them white, and bleach does not go well with our body. So we're looking at our white rice, our white bread, our white sugar, our white table salt. You know, there's a lot of white stuff there, okay?
Sure.
And also meat, and anything that is part of that, which means your milk, eggs, cheese, dairy. All of those things are considered acid to our body. And if we have more acid than we have alkaline, we get more inflammation. And with inflammation, that is where we get disease.
Madam, I ask you quickly. He's breathing the stress, very key points in the area. What are the disadvantageous aspects of my kind of lifestyle? Somebody who is far and inside opposite of your lifestyle.
Well, I think that people don't normally change until you have some type of illness or some type of challenge with your body. And if you don't want to take the medication, then you start to seek other avenues. For instance, like you can also go on to YouTube and Google. You can Google anything you like. That's one way of making changes. And then once we go through certain experiences, you start to connect. Your energy connects you with certain people. Because I was thinking, I knew you were coming today. I thought about this a staff that worked at the hospital. And I was telling them about how my mother used to put meat and pork in the greens and the beans. And I said, well, what should I do? He said, get some bouillon cubes. Those little cubes. And he said, and put that in there, and lots of garlic and onions and bell peppers. So we have to start eating in season. If you eat in season, then you don't have to worry about too many challenges with transitioning. You know, like instead of drinking milk, how about almond milk? Or the hemp milk. You know, there's cashew milk. And all of these type of milk, they have more antioxidants, more minerals, and you don't eat as much. And those are alkaline products that really help your liver.
Here in the Republic of the Gambia, like I said before, this is a program that is meant to speak on social, moral, economic, and political issues. But today, it's health issues, it's our lifestyle. What is important of being a vegan? We're right in the residence of all two of the best, if not the best, vegans of the world, and in Mama Naasira and that's of all, Dr. Gregory Joe Bledsoe. Yeah, back to you, Dr. Bledsoe. Looking at the current global saga, which is the coronavirus.
Yes, sir.
What's your position on this currently?
Well, my position is, just make it very simply put, if your immune system is strong, it's going to fight or ward off disease. And that is what we are promoting in various ways. Number one, with information. Our book we wrote was for people of color. Why? Because there are many physiological differences between Europeans and people of color. Number one, your bones are 10 times stronger or denser. So right then, your hemoglobin's going to be different. Your cell count is going to be different. What it's made of, selenium. So if you look...
I didn't get it again. That's something about the bones 10 times stronger.
10 times stronger or denser.
Okay.
Now, what happens to our bones when we eat acid food? Our body, in order to assimilate it or break it down so we can digest it, we have to take the minerals from our body itself to neutralize the acid. That is why when people get older after eating a diet of a lot of acid, their bones are weaker. That's why when they fall, they break them. Osteoporosis or weak bones. If you stay with the natural things, the fruits, grains, vegetables, your bones will remain strong. But it's only when you take in things that your body has a difficult time digesting, it has to break it down to what it can work with. And in order to do that, it has to take the essence from your body.
Have you put any mechanism in place, or do you have any formula for the prevention of this coronavirus or the cure of this coronavirus?
Okay, Mama, you can speak to that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a citrus drink, and the recipe is in the book. And I combine them since I've been here in Africa. It's the pineapple. If you boil pineapple, you get a lot of antioxidants from it, that helps to eliminate the inflammation from the body. And then I have the Detox Tea that has like burdock root, dandelion, here in the Gambia, King Calabar. So what I did, when I was raising one of my sons had allergy problems. So I would boil a lot of lemons for him to take and some garlic. And onion. And that would help to, I guess, just move that inflammation and mucus from his body. And then as time gone on, I started adding the herbs to it, to the citrus drink. And then I started adding grapefruits and oranges to it. I mean, this has just been a concoction over 40 years. So here in the Gambia 2 years ago, I became really sick and was in the bed for 4 days. And I guess because I was stressing and working with young people, and it's not easy working with young people.
Did you go to the hospital?
I did not go to the hospital.
Why?
Because when I don't know what's going on with my body, I won't go. Because when I worked in the medical field, when I got sick, I would not go until the doctor said, "What have you been doing lately?" "Oh, well, I was in a relationship and I got out of the relationship and my stomach's been hurting." He said, "Oh, you need a vacation."
So they want to have a history about the illness.
Exactly. So I didn't go, but I did drink this multi-pure water because we have a charcoal filter system. I kept drinking water, and my husband, he was so worried about me. He stayed in the bed almost 4 days with me until I started getting better. I couldn't eat any food, and I'm not sure, it was a really bad flu, and I was coughing a lot. And I just started Kundalini yoga, so I think I was moving free radicals from my body. So it was a combination of those things. So what I did, I started adding bawa to that drink. The wonjo to the drink, lots of moringa to it, and cinnamon to it. So I ended up to 15 different things, and I would boil it for 2 hours. And I have it in there to share with you too. And I actually started healing, but I lost 10 pounds. And I'm understanding from some people say that maybe we had coronavirus in the last few years, because we have to remember our environment is not the same anymore. With all this radiation, and our body can survive it, but you have to eat the food that's going to move you to that level. So that's what I did here in Africa. This is different than America, and I don't want to die here. So I worked on it, and everything I do for myself, I shared with all my colleagues and all my clients, my children. And here I've been selling it, and people say, "Oh, they saw black stuff come out." They saw, because they have not been eating the way I've been eating, but it's been more work for their bodies, and then they'll come back and get a second bottle, and they're good. In fact, I gave you one. I don't know how it helped you, but
I told that, and I feel the difference. I feel the difference.
And it stays with you. I've known some people like yourself. You look excellent.
Okay.
You know, and
Thank
that's really important
Yeah.
to wherever your age. Now, the way you eating now at what, 40?
Almost.
Almost?
Yeah.
Well, when you turn 60, you're going to have to change that. In fact, when you turn 45, you're going to have to start preparing your body for
Okay.
50.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, when they turn 50, they all of a sudden turn ill.
Wow.
Because something happens to the organs. As one Chinese acupuncturist told me when I was 29, I had sciatica. That was very early to have that kind of pain.
Okay.
He said the body starts to deteriorate after 25.
Wow. Doctor, let's come back to you. The current global saga, the coronavirus. I want to know, I'm interested in your position. What have you done about it? What your research about it? Do you have any findings about it?
Okay, well, what Mama and I did, we looked at what she was doing and how this was helping people treating malaria, treating their flus, treating their colds. And one of the herbalists here, Saliu Pui, he was invited to a conference in West Africa.
Okay.
West African states was the medical doctors, traditional healers, and herbalists. And they concluded that if there's anything, any device, any something that can help and promote the health and welfare of the general people, they would support it. And so we submitted the information on the liquid or the solution or with the recipe on the video.
Okay.
And since then, it's gone out. Then we had the coronavirus outbreak, and we saw there were some folks saying, oh, this is the herbal cure. But it's simply a knockoff of what Mama did. And so with that in line, we did not want to wait on the Africans to test it. So what we did is we have sent the information to our governmental officials, to our supporters and followers, and a number of noteworthy personalities. And in that letter, we also have the video on what we do and all the ingredients. So they don't have to wait on the government to test it. Test it on themselves and see if it works.
We're sharing it with everyone.
That's beautiful. That's the voice of all. Dr. Gregory Bledsoe here and Mama Naasira here on the Conversation of Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV. What would you say to a child that is 10 years old, yet when you look at the body size, it's close to someone who is 25, if not 30, when it comes to the kind of food that he or she eats?
Well, it is very important to eat well the younger ages, because we as black people, melanated people, when I say melanated, I'm talking about carbon and copper. Melanated is a European word, but carbon and copper gives you the electricity, and that's what we are. We are electric people, okay? And with that in mind, because we are electric, we have signals that get to our brain faster than Europeans, okay? We have more veins than they have, and signals get there fast unless it's clogged up by eating the wrong food, okay? So as a melanated person, we mature by the time we're 14 years old, where with Europeans it's 21. So the early ages are very, very important that they get the best of nutrition for the development of their body and their brain function.
And I have yes, I like to add that I have I told you I have 3 sons. And the one who's 40 years old, he looks now probably about 25. It was because the way I fed him,
Speak up louder.
The way I fed him, he was able to withstand drinking alcohol for 20 years.
Wow.
And he ended up, at the age of 29, calling me, letting me know that he had, the doctors diagnosed him with diabetes. And he lives in Anchorage, Alaska. And he's an IT person, worked for Xerox and various companies, but he has his own business now. But I've gone up to Alaska after my semester ended at the college I worked, and I took him to the health food store. And I bought him all the different herbs, what I use. And I introduced him to the vegan world with the quinoa, the wild rice, eating more beans, backing up off the meat. And here it is, fast forward 10 years, he is really healthy now, because he said, Mom, I used to drink people underneath the table. I one time drank 15 beers. He said, and people thought I was gonna die. But because, he said, Mama, because of the way you fed me, that was the reason I was able to sustain it. And now he doesn't touch anything.
Wow.
He's created this root beer.
Okay.
So when people drink during the holidays, he's there to escort them to make sure they have a taxi ride home,
Okay.
so that they don't get DUIs, what they call driving under the influence of alcohol,
Okay.
because he got it twice. And the third time his career would have been finished.
Wow.
The second time he was finished, and he had to work his way all the way up. And I have to say, with my husband and I calling and talking to him all the time, he's back on. Yeah, he's an
That's
incredible
beautiful.
man.
Just before we go forward, I want to see the comment written by one of our viewers here. That's Jamie here from the UK. And she says, I have been advised by the doctors to eat meat at least once a week in order to gain some blood. Also, I have no high dose of vitamin D because my body lacks it. What do you have to say on that comment?
Well, I can say two things. First of all,
Yeah.
I'd like to give a high five and a shout out to all of the Europeans in the Medical Association, because they worked very hard to create a system for their people. Now, our bodies are different. So we cannot, it's not advisable for us to use the standards that they use
Okay.
for all of their tests and their examinations, which is a body other than ours.
Okay.
Very, very different. So where that might work for a different body type, a different blood type, yes. But generally speaking, as a black person, there are other ways you can do that besides eating meat.
Well, actually, it is true that it's very difficult to maintain a vegan lifestyle,
Okay.
especially finances too, has a lot to do with it. Now, with me, because I want to live, I'm 66 years old, and I stay in the kitchen the same way I did when I was 21. So if you're in the kitchen, 8 hours pretty much practically every day, and now I have at least 3 or 4 chefs who assist me to make sure I have everything cut up. They cut usually up to 3 hours every other day,
Okay.
so that I can have all of my, all the vegetables for my salads. Today we did some chickpeas,
Okay.
and chickpeas have at least 12 different things in it, and all my spices, and this is my poof
Okay.
that I put together, and this is for you.
Okay.
And so I put all these things, and I'm constantly creating.
Okay.
And if you cannot do this to maintain
Yeah.
this lifestyle,
Yeah.
you have to hire somebody to do it for you.
Okay.
Or work together.
Or work together with people. And this is what we want to do, is when I've gone to college, we didn't have any foundation, we didn't have a clue to what we were supposed to do as students.
Okay.
And we need to start working with students where they can start
Go ahead.
sharing,
Yeah.
with each other. If one person can't cook on Monday,
Yeah.
then there's someone else cooking on Tuesday. We have to, we have to collaborate. You can't always run to the doctors, because the only thing they can do, and the doctors, they're doing the best they can. Because when I go to the doctor, when I had a mosquito bite that was really, really bad, and I waited 7 weeks before I gone in.
Wow.
And I had already started working on the healing and changing my life. And he said, well, the only thing I could do is, recommend antibiotics. And I said, I don't want to take that. So that's when I came home, chopped up a lot of garlic and mixed it with pineapples and oranges. And for 7 days, that's what I did.
Okay.
Instead, because that's an antibiotic too, and the gingers, and we have to be real creative, and this is why we're trying to put this out, free of charge. We want people to learn, especially a lot of our blacks. We're most challenged because it's difficult to maintain 8 hours and then not know exactly what type of food to bring to work. What I do, whatever I prepare for dinner, I have it the next day at work.
Okay.
And so this is what we need to do.
Now, in response to the sister from the UK, we're concerned about vitamin D.
Yeah.
We suggest that what you do is you get the green leafy vegetables that capture the sun, like your kale,
Okay. Yes, and your
seaweed.
Yeah, seaweed is really good.
Okay.
The noi seaweed, the hajeki seaweed, and then you get the sheets.
Okay.
And you just roll like if you're gonna have, we don't recommend white rice, but try the quinoa
Okay.
and the wild rice.
Okay.
More couscous is good, millet.
Okay.
And you add that, and you make sure you have a salad with your tomatoes and lettuce, and you don't just limit it to the salad, as they call lettuce.
Okay.
You actually add some spinach to it and some kale.
Okay.
And then you have maybe your beans, and these things you can eat off for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And then you roll it in that seaweed, and you can eat it that way. That helps a lot. And then you can also get our book.
Okay.
We have a kitchen. What is it?
Transition?
Yeah, the transition. But I mean the kitchen where you can stock your kitchen. And if you can get the things that we have in the book, did you look at your book?
Yes, I'm following that.
If you look at that kitchen, what should be there, you're gonna be fine.
Okay.
You're gonna be fine.
This is a conversation here on Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV. We are currently in the residence of Dr. Gregory Bledsoe and Mama Naasira as they speak to us on healthy lifestyle. Talk to us about your foundation and what are you guys into with your foundation.
Okay, we have a NGO here in the Gambia. It's called Healthy Ways Foundation, the Gambia. We also have a 501(c) in the United States, and that's Healthy Ways Foundation. And it's open to those folks that see what we're doing, that wish to help us. We've had a challenge because we're over here, and it's required that I make a personal appearance to open up a bank account for the Healthy Ways Foundation.
Okay.
So we've been coming out of pocket and helping the people in different ways, helping different varied families. We've been going around to the different sites, different communes, groups, speaking to them on health and nutrition, giving them examples. Mama Naasira has trained over 20 vegan chefs. And what we have in mind is, okay, look, if you want to change the world, you start with something simple. You start with what you eat.
Okay.
If you change the way you eat, you're going to change the way you think.
Okay.
And if you change the way you think, you're going to make more healthful choices. And that's going to impact you very positively on your family, your community, your country, the nation, and the world.
I want to get this clear. How does the kind of food that one eats affect how he thinks?
Well, you don't
What's the
want to have
relationship?
those acidics in your lifestyle of eating. We need to start eating more plant-based. Eat what's in season. Like right now, mangoes is in my citrus drink. Since the mangoes are available, I take all the mango skin and I freeze it. And when I'm ready to make this, and I'll share that with you on the table. And the papaya, all of those have lots of antioxidants in it. It has A, B, C. All of this is what the body needs. You have to give it what it needs at that time. Right now, you should be eating more leafy greens. Lots of salads. Because that's going to also help you, because this is a virus time of the year anyway, from February up until May. Whatever they can call the flu, you got it. And it's there because I'm constantly fighting it. And the citrus drink that I make, I keep some in the refrigerator at all times. If I feel kind of funny, like for instance, it's been warm, but then when I go outside, I feel that cool air. I'll come home and I may start sneezing. Immediately, I'll go get my citrus drink. And I start drinking it. And
now
it's
you
gone.
can feel the effects too. If you are not eating the right kind of food, your body's not going to be hydrated, and you're not going to be able to eliminate your bowels. In other words, you're constipated. Now, if you're constipated, that affects you. Okay? If you don't eat the right kind of food, you're generally going to have headaches that are associated with it. You're going to have other things that are shutting down. Everything is not going to be working properly. So you're going to have more aches. You're going to have more joints, and because of the inflammation is going to cause bronchitis. Inflammation in your bones, arthritis. In other words, when you don't eat right, you are going to feel the effect. Whether you're going to feel better or not depends on what you're putting in your body. And don't forget, what you're thinking is very important because the very cells of your body are affected by the way you're thinking.
Wow. Dr. Gregory, I put this to you. There is an African child seated under the sound of a voice between the ages of 10 to 15 to 25. Give them a tip about what kind of food should they eat? A child between the age of 9, 10 to 15 to 25. What are the kind of food that he or she should eat to avoid finding themselves in kind of problems with justice?
I defer to the mother, okay?
Okay.
Because even though I can do most of the things she can do,
Yeah.
but she can tell you some of the things for that age group.
Mama Naasira, I
Yeah,
listen to
we
you.
first want to connect with the parents.
Okay.
The parents are the ones that have to start becoming more realistically knowledgeable about what they're eating.
Okay.
Now here in the Gambia and Africa, there's been a lot of interruptions in the way that they've been eating historically because of the Europeans
Yeah.
coming in and changing that. So this is what we're doing. We're training people
Okay.
right now to come in and make the change so they can take this knowledge home to their sisters and brothers and parents.
Okay.
And that's, you have to start with one family at a time.
Okay.
And once people start to see what you're doing, and now we have Facebook, people know us all over the world. When I walk in the store, Mama Naasira, it's because they see what we're doing and they telling us. So what we're doing, we're the example. And even my children, they're example for what they're doing for their children. So more and more people are going to eventually get it. Also, I was just thinking earlier, you know, soursop. Soursop is really something that we should be eating more of it because it also prevents diabetes.
Okay.
You know, that's staying away from the sugar. Get it out of there. It helps to kill cancer, tumors, pineapples. We even grow pineapples here. Pineapples is really good for your eyesight. You know, it has phosphorus in it and calcium and magnesium. All these things are important. We should be eating. This is what we need to educate our children with science and chemistry. I learned some chemistry, but they didn't teach me that the chemistry had a lot to do with my body.
Okay.
Now that I'm studying it, because I'm getting ready to write another book, all of these things, like to learn about Tanzania, they have the strongest stomach in the world because of the baobab. It's the strongest. I studied that. Blood sugar. It helps with the deficiencies of vitamin D. It helps with arthritis, hypertension. You know, it helps you. It has more vitamin C than an orange. So we need to be eating. And it's grown right here. And it's the one of the best fruits in the world because it hydrates on the tree. So you can eat it either way. And then we have Moringa, of course, that's the miracle tree. Everything is there. It has the A's, the B1, 3, 6, calcium, magnesium, and they all have the same: treat cancer, mood disorders. I mean, neem is another one. It's good for, like, if you have a disorder with your eyes, you know, your upset stomachs, it helps you to eliminate. And these things grow seasonally, so if one is not around, then the other one is going to give you all of those properties. This is what I'm teaching people. Mint, you know, nana, that's a big deal here. That's good for oral, you know, keeping your bowels and your mouth clean, headaches. It improves your brain power. It's nausea. It helps with stress. And then we have Moringa. That's here in the Gambia. And that's good for hypertension, arthritis. I mean, all of these things are right here. King Calabar. I mean, so
It goes on
this
and
go
on.
on and
But
on.
This is how interesting the conversation is right now on Sembiance VIP Magazine VIP TV. I come back to you, Doctor.
well, let me piggyback on that because you're talking about what someone can do in terms of feeding them.
Yeah, between the ages of at least
well, we're
9
looking
to
at
25.
you have your coos here.
You
know, you can use your coos. We're getting more rice in, the good rice. Like the wild rice, where you can make your porridge. You can put in there your baobab, which is very rich in your vitamin C. You can put in little moringa flakes, and that is also going to help to boost the immune system. Instead of using milk from animals, you can use your coconut milk. And if you happen to have a blender, you can mix it up and voila, that's what you get. So we're looking at the local things that they can use, as well as the fruits that are in season.
How about a child that stays in the UK?
How about
or
a child?
stays in the U.S. or somewhere outside Africa. You're talking about local stuff that they can use. But I'm concentrating on a child, an African child that stays possibly in the UK or the US or anywhere outside of the continent of Africa that
Okay.
needs a healthy lifestyle to avoid being too fat or bigger than the age actually
Well,
is.
what we would
should they
say
do?
for them, just stay away from the big five white things.
Big
If they can,
five white
yeah,
things.
the big five.
What are they?
They stay away from the white sugar.
Okay.
Okay, because we know that that is addictive.
Okay.
Here in the Gambia, we have folks that are drinking a tire. We saw that, and I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
And then when I saw them putting practically all white sugar in there and then drinking it, and then when I talked to them, I said, what happens if you stop? I get a headache. That's an addiction. Okay? So what we did is we said, okay, what you can do is use substitutes for sugar. You have your local honey.
Okay.
You can take your moringa, your moringa seed,
Okay.
and chew that
Okay.
before you drink your attire without sugar.
Okay.
And it will be sweet and effervescent.
Okay.
You can also take your dates. Dates and cut them up real small, mix it with some water,
Okay.
put some heat to it,
Okay.
and you can have date sugar.
Okay.
So that is a substitute for that white thing.
Okay.
Okay, your white table salt.
Okay.
Here, stay away from it.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of chemical additives that are put in that
Okay.
just so it can pour nicely. Okay?
mm.
We're talking about aluminum byproducts and you name it, the list is long.
Okay.
Here you have sea salt. Use your own sea salt. Now, there might be a question about the processing or whatever,
Yeah.
but your natural sea salt is better than the table salt.
Okay.
Okay? In terms of your white bread, we need more grains that we can make our bread of. We put together bread here, and we'd like to make more of it.
Okay.
But that's another thing. In other
Okay.
words, staying away from the white things.
Okay.
So, also white. I didn't mention alcohol.
Oh, yeah,
I don't even have
alcohol.
to mention that because that tears up all the organs in your body.
Okay.
So anyone who's promoting that, God bless them. If they have a body that's not as sensitive like Europeans, they can get a lot more mileage than that. But we would suggest if you are black, limit your alcohol
Okay.
or stay away from it.
Okay.
Okay?
I also want to add too, if you're in the United States, since I am a Muslim and I don't really practice it, however, when I did, I was the one that used to bring in the vegetable foods to the community.
Okay.
So that way I got an opportunity to meet with the Gambians, Ghanaians, Liberians, everybody in there, and they saw what I did. And it only really takes 1 or 2 times and you start to get it. Because this is a lifetime of changing your life.
Okay.
You know, where you are today, keep living.
Okay.
You will improve on your own because your energy is gonna take you into that level where you will start to meet the people, the right people.
Okay. That's beautiful. Interesting conversation here with our Facebook follower here, to Maria, to Mane, all the way there, following us on this conversation here in Jamie K. Have you seen my question before the live got interrupted? Let me just scroll down and see if I can view. Can you just pose a question here so that we can see how best we can pose it to the interview here, Jamie K, if you get to me. Patricia Bestman is also following. Whatever comments, via analysis you have, can you just post it right now? The live got interrupted first, so we did not see that. Can you cleverly repost your question so that Dr. Bleach or Mama Naasira can have an opportunity to direct a better answer to that? Cleverly, in Africa here, we don't have control over what we eat. We don't have the finance to be able to manage our own lifestyle when it comes to what we eat. Mr. X is outside here. He eats whatever comes his way. He sees mango, he sees oranges, he sees whatever that comes his way because that's what he can afford, so to speak. He visits a friend and that's what he sees and that's what he eats. What is he vulnerable to? In other words, a man who is more or less a don't care, or possibly he's actually cares, but he doesn't have what it takes to be able to get the best kind of food to eat. What is he exposed to?
Well, he's exposed to an immune system that's not as strong as it could be. And as with an weakened immune system, then that means he exposes himself, or he's open more to different pathogens, bacteria. So as I said before, if your immune system is up, a lot of things you will not get. But for someone who's just doing, that's a challenge. However, what we found in America is that even though people eat a lot of junk food, the cheapest things were the fruits and the vegetables. And here, I find that to be the same. And those are the things that are healthiest for you. Unfortunately, because of our brainwashing and conditioning, we think that things that come from the West are good for us.
Yeah, that's
okay? But sadly, this, in the majority of cases, that's not good when it comes to nutrition, how things are packed, what's additives that are in them, blah, blah, blah.
That begs the question, when do we start to respect, value, and embrace our identity when we have the elementary mindset or whatever comes from the West is good?
Well, I think that, first of all, we've been here 3.5 years, and we've been working with the Gambians here, teaching them how to prepare the meals, and we've given them knowledge about our own experiences to help them to make good choices so that they can have good lives. Some of them can have a little bit, I notice in that, because we're so much older, but we're young at heart, it's kind of like an incompatibility where it could be a little bit of resentment.
Yeah.
And I tell them, don't look at, my age difference. Trust me, be happy that you're getting this information, because one day you're going to need this information, because our world is changing. We've already have a pandemic where the whole world is locked down. This is an opportunity for everybody to get on the same wavelength and start to ride it.
Okay.
And we do have internet access where we can see what we want to see. If it's healthy, you can change.
Yeah.
We can change.
Okay.
Well, one of the things I would say is kill your TV.
How do you mean?
Kill your TV. Cut off your television, because if most of the images are coming to you that are not of black people improving or acknowledging black values and love, cut it off.
Okay.
Because all of that is designed to make you a consumer and to feel less of yourself. We've had a challenge here with people bleaching their skin. And there are many different reasons for that. Some are doing it because they think it's going to give them an economic value or advantage. They might get more jobs or whatever. But the bottom line is, when you bleach your skin, that affects your body internally and also affects your mind. That is why we made a list of 10 things you can put to bleach yourself naturally if you don't love yourself.
Okay.
But with the Africans here, oh my God, we love them black.
What are the 10 things that you can use to bleach yourself naturally?
Well, naturally
if you don't
can
love
use-
yourself,
oh,
even
you
though
can use
it's not
some-
a beautiful question to ask.
Oh, you can use some lemon. You can use oranges. You can use
Turmeric.
turmeric and honey, combination of that.
Do we really need it?
Yeah.
Can we just appreciate our
No,
identity?
you don't
now?
need to do that, because what I've learned, I'm lighter than I was when I was a child, and it's because of the way the environment itself is changing us. And sometimes when you scar yourself, you put certain lotions on, and I don't know, and then even when you go to the doctors, and if you're sick, that medication is not just, you don't know what's in it. It is changing your color, because they're experimenting on our melanin.
Okay.
And it's a very challenged situation where I look at myself in my old pictures. I said, why I didn't change my skin color.
Yeah.
It's the environment that changes us too.
Okay.
So why would we want to change something that's going to change probably naturally? So that's what I'm learning, because we've hired people and we pay them pretty well.
Okay.
And they go buy some bleaching lotion. And I said, 6 months later, and I said, why does their skin look a little lighter? And then I started thinking after a period of time, I said, well, maybe our dark skin may need some scrubbing. I don't know.
Just before we proceed, we continue. Let me just see what somebody has written here.
I don't know.
This is from Jamie Key of the United Kingdom. She says, where do I get these as a vegetarian? Vitamin B12, calcium, iron, this is zinc, iodine, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, protein. I don't know if I'm getting the correct pronunciation, but you can read the message. You have an idea of
there
these
are health
vitamins.
foods. There are health foods in the UK.
Okay.
Vegetarian, well, you can get them. Well, some of these things you can't really get it in the
Okay, read what you
sickle
said.
cell
Yeah.
trait.
Mhm.
Okay, I just sickle cell. You can work there in the UK.
Yes, in the UK.
So therefore, some of these things they have to be listening and know when seasons to buy things, so that they can have these things
Okay.
in their diet
Okay.
or in their lifestyle.
Okay.
Sickle cell, I had written it if you can get some baobab. You can go to the health food stores there.
Okay,
They have a lot of things because I bought a lot in the what is it, Braxton?
Braxton.
They have a excellent Whole Foods there.
Okay.
And you can buy so many wonderful things there that's like here.
Okay.
So
And that's the Whole Foods.
they
They call
need
it
to
Whole Foods.
they call it
in Braxton.
Whole Foods. They need to make sure whatever's in season. If you go and if it's expensive, by the time that season starts to bring more of it, the price will reduce. And go to your local farmers markets.
Okay.
When I was in the UK, I used to go to the farmers markets.
Okay.
So once they know you, they give you things for little or nothing. Same way in the US.
Okay.
You really have to scout. You have to be really interested in making changes, and you will learn and read.
Okay.
It's all the things that I mentioned: baobab, moringa,
Yeah.
pineapples, soursop.
Okay.
Mint, sage is good. What is it? Cinnamon. Cinnamon is real good for your heart. And you should use the Ceylon.
Okay.
Ceylon is better because it's not as intense on your liver.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it also helps with help low blood sugars.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Let me comprehensive degree what she says. Okay, I have sickle cell traits. The reason why I have been suffering from bone itches recently. My doctor says I should be eating meat once a week because of my low blood level and high level of vitamin D. Thus, how will this work if I am a vegetarian?
Okay. Well.
Okay, once again, when we...
That's from John K. of
once again, when we speak generally. If you're under the care of your physician, we don't know your pre-existing condition, so we can't just generally say specifically, but what we can do is just speak generally.
Okay. So if there is a link that is created between you and a particular follower that wishes to get tips about their own health, would you honor that?
Yes, sure. We can send them out a link to our website, and they can get in touch with us.
Okay, so John K, that's the right response there for you. We're going to create a link between you and Dr. Bleach and Mama Naasira, so you can have an opportunity to put all of the questions you want to put forward. And I am very, very hopeful. Or should I say, I am with the conviction that they are going to afford you the opportunity to get the right kind of treatment that you need. This is the conversation here on Sembiance VIP magazine.